The junkyard stretched like a dead ocean, filled with rusted cars, broken robots, and forgotten dreams. The air smelled of metal and rain. Every day, Eli walked through it with a small cart and tired eyes, searching for parts he could sell to buy food. He was a simple man, thin and quiet, with oil stains on his hands and hope long gone from his face. That evening, the sky turned gray. A storm was coming. The wind howled through piles of scrap, making them sing strange metallic songs. Eli wiped sweat from his forehead and kicked an old robot's head aside. He thought about going home, but something shiny caught his eye near a pile of broken ship engines. He stepped closer. Half buried in mud was a helmet, smooth and dark, yet glowing faintly with a blue pulse like a heartbeat. It looked old, older than anything he had ever seen, but it wasn't rusty. The glow seemed alive. Eli crouched and brushed the dirt away. The moment his fingers touched the metal, a sudden vibration went through his body. A small voice echoed in his mind, calm and female, almost human. "Welcome back, Commander Ryan Voss." "You died 12 years ago." Eli froze. His heart pounded. He looked around thinking someone was playing a joke, but there was no one. Only the storm and the endless junk. The helmet stayed still, glowing softly. He whispered, "What? What did you just say?" No answer. The light faded for a second, then blinked again like it was waiting for him. Eli's breath came fast. "Commander? Died 412 years ago?" He didn't even know what that meant. Maybe it was some kind of old military tech replaying a recording. Yes, that had to be it. He picked it up carefully. The helmet was cold but strangely light. Small symbols ran across its side, not any language he recognized. He held it under the rain, watching the drops slide over its perfect surface. The glow became brighter, and for a moment Eli saw a reflection that wasn't his own, a man in armor with glowing blue eyes and scars across his face. He dropped the helmet in shock. When it hit the ground, the voice spoke again. "Systems damaged. Commander's life signs unstable. Please confirm identity." Eli's legs felt weak. "I'm not your commander," he said. "I'm just a mechanic." But the voice ignored him. "Confirm identity." He stepped back, afraid but curious. The junkyard seemed quieter now, as if even the storm had stopped to listen. He knelt again, staring into the glowing visor. His own reflection looked strange, sharper, stronger, older. For the first time in years, Eli felt something he hadn't felt since childhood, fear mixed with wonder. He decided to take it home. Maybe it was worth something. Maybe it was alien tech or an advanced AI prototype. He wrapped it in a piece of cloth, placed it in his bag, and walked back to his small shed at the edge of the junkyard. Lightning flashed across the sky. Every flash made the helmet glow brighter inside the bag, as if it could feel the storm. By the time he reached home, night had fallen. He put the helmet on his workbench and stared at it for a long time. The voice spoke again, softer this time. "Do you remember the Valorian?" Eli shook his head slowly. "No, I don't even know what that is." "You commanded it," the voice replied. "You saved billions. And then you died." Eli stepped back. His mind spun. "This isn't real," he whispered. "You're broken, just an old machine." "If I am broken," the voice said, "then why are your memories returning?" He blinked. For a moment he saw something, an image of stars, a ship flying through fire, and soldiers saluting a man who looked exactly like him. He gasped and stumbled against the table. The light inside the helmet pulsed rapidly. "We don't have much time, Commander. They are coming." The words chilled him to the bone. He looked at the door, expecting someone, or something, to knock. But there was only silence and rain. He turned back to the helmet. "Who's coming?" he whispered. No answer this time. The glow faded slowly until the helmet looked dead again, just a piece of metal among broken things. Eli sat down, shaking. He didn't know what he had found, but he knew one thing for sure. His quiet, empty life had just ended the moment he touched that helmet. And outside, hidden in the clouds above, something far older than human eyes was already watching. Eli barely slept that night. Every time he closed his eyes, flashes of strange images filled his mind. Fire raining from the sky, ships tearing through black clouds, and soldiers shouting words in a language he didn't understand. When he woke, sweat covered his face, and his hands were trembling. The helmet still sat on his workbench, quiet and lifeless, as if nothing had happened. He tried to ignore it. He made coffee, fixed an old radio, and told himself the voice was just some glitch, maybe an old AI program repeating a script. But, deep inside, a question burned. What if it wasn't? When the morning light touched the helmet, it shimmered faintly again. The glow spread like breath through the metal. The calm voice returned. "Good morning, Commander. Battle report incomplete. Would you like to continue the mission?" Eli froze mid-step. His coffee cup slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. "No," he said quickly. "No mission. I don't know you." "Your memory core is damaged," the voice said gently, "but I can help restore it." Before he could respond, the helmet projected a faint blue light into the air, a hologram. The dusty shed around him disappeared, replaced by stars. He was standing on the bridge of a massive ship, the Valorian. The hum of engines surrounded him, and ghostly crew members moved like shadows made of light. "The enemy broke through the defense line," said one officer. "Orders, Commander?" Eli stumbled backward, breathing hard. "Stop it, stop this." The hologram flickered, then dissolved. He was back in his shed, shaking, gasping for air. The helmet's voice grew softer. "You led us once. You can lead again." He grabbed the helmet and shoved it into a box. "I'm not your commander, I'm nobody, leave me alone." But when he turned to leave, the lights in his shed flickered out. A low hum filled the air. Outside, something moved. Heavy steps, mechanical. Through the cracks in the wooden walls, Eli saw faint red light scanning across the junkyard. He crouched low, heart hammering. Drones, sleek and silent, glided above the metal piles. They weren't human-made. Their movements were too smooth, too precise. They seemed to be searching for something. The voice whispered urgently inside his mind. "They've detected the signal. You must hide me." Eli hesitated. "Hide you? From what?" "From the hunters. They were built to erase what's left of us." He didn't understand, but fear pushed him to act. He ran to the old storage pit behind his shed and buried the helmet under a pile of broken gears. The moment it disappeared under the junk, the glowing drones turned and flew away, as if losing interest. The night became quiet again. Eli collapsed to the ground, shaking. "This can't be real," he muttered. "None of this can be real." But deep down, something inside him whispered that it was. Later, as rain started again, he returned to the shed. He couldn't stop thinking about the vision, the ship, the stars, the feeling of belonging. All his life he had been a nobody, forgotten by the world. But the helmet, it spoke to him like he mattered. He dug it up again. The moment he touched it, the voice returned, calm but sad. "I missed you, Commander." He sat on the floor staring at it. "Who am I to you?" he asked quietly. "You are Ryan Voss," it replied. "Leader of the Terran Vanguard. Last commander of the human fleet. You died defending Earth." He laughed softly, a broken, scared laugh. "I'm Eli, I fix trash, you've got the wrong man." DNA match confirmed, facial reconstruction 97%. Eli's hands shook. The voice continued. "Humanity's fall began when you died. But if you live again, maybe they can rise." Suddenly, his mind flashed with another image, himself in armor, standing before a sea of soldiers. Behind him burned a massive planet torn apart by war. Then the image vanished, leaving him gasping. He stared at the helmet, fear and wonder mixing inside him. It was showing him things no one should see. The voice whispered one last thing before fading. "They will come again, Commander, and when they do, you must remember who you are." Lightning flashed outside, lighting up the junkyard. For the first time, Eli felt something watching him. Not human eyes, but something older, patient, and waiting. He looked at the helmet and whispered, "What have I done?" Somewhere in the distance, a deep, metallic roar echoed through the night, and the ground trembled beneath him. Whatever the helmet had awakened, it had only just begun. Morning came, but it brought no peace. Eli sat on the floor of his workshop, staring at the helmet like it was alive. His eyes were red from lack of sleep. The words from last night still echoed in his head. Commander Ryan Voss, the Terran Vanguard. You died 412 years ago. He told himself it was impossible, just some strange machine repeating a program. But deep inside, something in his chest whispered that it wasn't a lie. Finally, curiosity won. He placed the helmet gently on the table and said, "All right, talk to me. Who are you really?" The blue light inside the visor flickered. Then the voice returned, calm, patient, and somehow filled with emotion. Designation Aura, Artificial Unit for Rapid Assistance, Tactical AI, created to serve Commander Ryan Voss. Aura, Eli repeated softly. You're an AI? Yes, Commander. I was designed to protect humanity's last fleet. When the war ended, I went offline, until you touched me. Eli stepped closer. There is no war. Humanity is fine. You're centuries out of date. Error, Aura said gently. Humanity is not fine. A sudden projection appeared above the helmet, floating blue images of Earth seen from orbit. But the planet was scarred, covered with black clouds and fragments of metal rings. What you remember, Aura said, is not what remains. Eli's stomach turned cold. He didn't understand the technology, but the images felt real. Stop showing me this, he said. You must remember who you were. The projection changed. Now he saw a man, tall with the same face as his, only older, stronger, dressed in battle armor. The man stood before thousands of soldiers aboard a giant ship, his voice echoing through the hall. For Earth, for our future, we stand. Then fire, explosions, screams. The vision ended. Eli fell to his knees, breathing hard. His hands were shaking. That's not me, he whispered. Aura's voice softened. Your body may have died, but your DNA carries fragments of his neural imprint. You are the continuation of him. The system recognized you. He looked up slowly. You're saying, I'm a copy? No, Commander, you are reborn. The words chilled him. You keep calling me Commander, he said, but I'm just a man who fixes junk. You fixed me, Aura replied, and now I can fix you. Before he could respond, the helmet glowed brighter, flooding the shed with light. Lines of blue energy raced across the walls, forming symbols and holograms, maps, weapon designs, data archives. The air buzzed. Eli backed away, shielding his eyes. Aura, stop! I am reactivating the Valorian's command systems, she said. The ship is near. It has waited underground for you. Ship? What ship? Your ship, Commander. The Valorian. Eli's breath caught. You mean there's a real ship here? On Earth? Buried beneath the metal graveyard you call a junkyard, Aura said. It was hidden after your death. I've been waiting for centuries to wake you. Eli shook his head in disbelief. He didn't want to believe her. But then, outside, something started to hum, deep and distant like a heartbeat beneath the earth. Tools rattled on his shelves. He ran to the door and stepped into the junkyard. The ground trembled. In the distance, a faint blue glow pulsed under the piles of rusted machines. It's responding to your presence, Aura said through the helmet. It knows its commander has returned. Eli swallowed hard. If this is real, why me? Why now? Because the hunters have returned, she said. And they remember what you did to them. The wind picked up. The sky darkened again. Eli felt a strange heaviness in his chest, a mixture of fear and something else. Purpose. He turned toward the glowing piles of scrap and whispered, If I really was this, Commander Voss, then what did I do? Aura's voice grew quiet. You ended the war by destroying 3 worlds. Eli's knees weakened. Destroyed? You sacrificed everything to save humanity, she continued. But the cost was too high. They hunted us for revenge. Lightning struck nearby, lighting the junkyard in silver fire. Eli's reflection flickered in a puddle. His eyes seemed to glow faint blue for just a second. He looked down at his trembling hands. What's happening to me? The memories are merging, Aura said. You're becoming who you were meant to be. He wanted to run, but something in him knew there was no turning back now. The ground shook again, and far beneath his feet, ancient engines began to hum awake. Aura's final words echoed softly, almost like a promise. "The Valorian is waiting, Commander." The war never truly ended, and neither did you. The ground trembled beneath Eli's boots as the wind howled across the junkyard. The air felt alive now, buzzing, charged with something ancient and mechanical. Beneath the heaps of scrap, something enormous stirred, and every instinct in his body screamed to run, but Aura's voice anchored him. "Commander, they've found us." Eli froze. "Who?" "The hunters," she said quietly. "They've followed my signal." "They always do." Before he could reply, a beam of red light cut through the dark sky. It swept over the junkyard, scanning everything. The piles of broken metal glowed under its light, revealing thousands of twisted shapes and shadows. Then came the sound, a low electronic roar that made his bones vibrate. From beyond the fence, 3 mechanical figures stepped into view. They were tall, maybe 9 feet each, built like armored wolves standing on 2 legs. Their eyes burned crimson and their weapons glowed with faint plasma light. Their armor looked old and scarred, but they moved with deadly precision. Eli ducked behind an old truck, his heart pounding. "Aura, what are those things?" "They are remnants of the old war," she replied. "Machines built by the enemy to erase every trace of you." "Of humanity." Eli peeked through the gap in the metal. The hunters were scanning the ground, moving toward the faint blue glow beneath the junk. The same place Aura had said the Valorian was buried. "They've detected the energy signature," Aura said. "They will destroy it." "And you," Eli whispered, "then stop them. Do something." "I require a host interface," Aura said softly. "You, Commander." He swallowed hard. "You mean put you on?" "Yes." His hands trembled as he lifted the helmet. For a second, he hesitated, staring at his reflection in the glowing visor. He still saw Eli, the tired junk collector, but behind that reflection, faintly, he saw someone else. A man with steel eyes and the weight of 1,000 battles. Then he placed the helmet on his head. The world vanished in a flash of blue light. Suddenly, he could see everything. The heat signatures of the hunters, the weak points in their armor, the pulsing heartbeats of their synthetic cores. The helmet's systems merged with his vision. His hearing sharpened. He could hear the hum of their energy weapons before they fired. "Welcome back, Commander," Aura whispered inside his mind. "Let me help you remember." Time slowed. The first hunter fired a plasma bolt tearing through the air. Eli moved before he thought, rolling behind a truck, grabbing a metal pipe. The helmet adjusted, scanning the pipe. "Alloy suitable for magnetic enhancement," Aura said. A blue current of energy raced through it. Eli swung the pipe, and when it hit the hunter's leg, it shattered the armor in a burst of sparks. The creature roared, collapsing onto the ground. Eli gasped, both shocked and terrified at what he'd just done. "Your reflexes are returning," Aura said calmly. "We are synchronizing." The other 2 hunters attacked, firing plasma rounds that melted through the junk. Eli sprinted, diving between metal heaps. Each time he moved, Aura guided him, her voice clear and calm even as chaos erupted around them. "Left, 3 meters. Now strike." He turned, swung again, and the second hunter's head exploded in a shower of light. The third lunged forward, claws tearing through steel. Eli barely dodged, crashing into a pile of scrap. Pain burned through his side. The machine raised its weapon, aiming straight at him. Yura's voice sharpened. "Authorization override, Valorian defense protocol." The ground beneath them erupted. From deep below, a surge of blue energy burst upward. Broken metal scattered as a massive shape began to rise, ancient, rusted, yet powerful. The Valorian's buried hull glowed beneath layers of earth, awakening from its long sleep. The hunter turned toward it in confusion. Eli, guided by instinct, grabbed the fallen plasma rifle from the ground and fired. The bolt struck the hunter square in the chest, tearing it apart. The explosion threw Eli backward into the dirt. For a long moment, there was silence. Only the soft hum of the Valorian echoed in the night. Eli pulled off the helmet, gasping for breath. His hands were shaking, but his heart raced with a strange energy. He wasn't sure what frightened him more, the machines that tried to kill him or how naturally he had fought them. "You see now," Aura said softly. "The enemy never forgot you, and neither did I." Eli looked up at the glowing outline of the buried ship. "Aura, what is this place?" "Your legacy, Commander. Your grave. And your second chance." Lightning flashed overhead, And for the first time, Eli realized the war that ended 4 centuries ago wasn't over at all. It had just been waiting for him to wake up. Rain poured over the junkyard, washing away the dust of centuries. The ground where the hunters had fallen still smoked, their broken bodies twitching with dying sparks. Eli stood over them, chest heaving, his hands trembling as the glow from the helmet slowly faded. His reflection in the visor no longer looked like a junk collector. It looked like a soldier waking from a long dream. Beneath his feet, the earth still vibrated. A deep hum pulsed through the ground, slow and rhythmic, like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant. The blue light beneath the piles of rusted metal shone brighter now, spreading like veins of fire through the junkyard floor. "Commander," Aura's voice whispered inside his head, calm yet full of emotion. "The Valorian is calling for you." Eli stared into the glow. "That's the ship, isn't it?" "The one you said was buried here." "Yes," she replied. "Your ship. Your command. The last fortress of humanity." Eli took a deep breath and stepped closer. The ground cracked under his boots. The light was blinding now. Then suddenly the earth gave way. Metal and soil collapsed beneath him and Eli fell into darkness. He landed hard on a cold surface. For a moment he lay still, coughing, his flashlight flickering weakly in the gloom. When the light steadied, his breath caught. He wasn't in a tunnel. He was standing in a massive metallic chamber, walls stretching high above like the inside of a sleeping whale. The air smelled of ozone and dust. Strange lights glowed faintly along the walls, responding to his movement. "Welcome aboard the Valorian," Aura said softly. Eli turned slowly. The chamber lit up section by section, rows of empty pods, shattered glass, and faded symbols written in a language half familiar to him. The place was ancient, yet it pulsed with a strange life. He walked forward, touching one of the walls. His fingers brushed smooth metal and images flickered in his mind, memories that weren't his. He saw soldiers saluting. He saw himself, no, Ryan Voss, standing at the head of the bridge, giving orders as ships burned around him. He felt the weight of command, the grief of loss. Then it was gone. Eli gasped and stepped back. "Aura, what is this? How is this ship still here?" "You built it to last," she replied. "The Valorian was designed to survive the fall of Earth. When you died, I buried it. I waited until your return." He moved deeper into the chamber, past shattered consoles and floating dust. The light followed him, activating corridors that hadn't been lit in centuries. At the end of the hallway, a massive door stood sealed, marked with a glowing insignia. A winged star crossed by a blade. His hand moved toward it on instinct. The helmet pulsed. "Biometric match confirmed." "Commander Ryan Voss, authorization accepted." The door groaned open and a rush of air filled the room. Beyond it was the bridge, wide and circular, windows stretching into darkness. Dead screens flickered to life. A holographic globe appeared in the center, spinning slowly, a broken map of the galaxy. Red warning marks covered it like blood. Eli stood silently as Aura's voice filled the chamber. The war burned every colony. The hunters wiped out entire systems. Humanity fell. I tried to hide what remained, but I failed. The ship's logs began to play, faint echoes of desperate voices. "We're surrounded, Commander!" "They're breaking through the atmosphere." "Fall back!" "Protect the civilians." "No, he's gone." "The commander's gone." Then silence. Eli gripped the console, staring at the hologram. "You're telling me I was responsible for this?" "You were responsible for saving what could be saved," Aura answered softly. "But even you could not stop extinction. You bought time, and time brought you back." He turned slowly toward the central display. A faint light blinked on the map, blue instead of red. "What's that?" he asked. "The last distress signal," Aura said. "Human survivors. Faint but active. They've been waiting for centuries in cryostasis. The signal reactivated when you did." Eli's heart pounded. Survivors, real humans. Still alive somewhere in the galaxy. He stepped closer. "Where are they?" "Sector 9 of the Obsidian Belt," she replied. "But Commander, the hunters guard that region. They remember your war." Eli stared at the holographic stars, his reflection glowing faintly in the light. His voice was quiet but firm. "Then we'll go get them." "The ship cannot launch without full synchronization," Aura said. "You must finish the merge." Eli hesitated. He remembered her warning. If he merged completely, he'd no longer be human. He'd become something else. But as he looked around the ghostly ship, saw the empty seats where his crew once stood, and heard the echoes of their voices, he realized he couldn't walk away now. Not when humanity might still be out there. He looked up. Then let's wake the Valorian. The lights brightened. Engines that hadn't moved in 4 centuries began to stir, humming beneath his feet like a rising storm. Dust lifted into the air as Aura whispered softly, almost tenderly, "Welcome home, Commander." And as the power surged through the ship, far above the junkyard, red eyes blinked to life in the dark skies. The hunters had felt the awakening. The war was about to begin again. The Valorian trembled like a beast awakening from a deep sleep. Inside the bridge, long-dead screens flickered back to life, painting Eli's face in soft blue light. Dust floated like snow in the air as the engines below rumbled for the first time in 4 centuries. The ship was breathing again. Eli stood in the center of the bridge, his hands resting on a control panel that felt strangely familiar. The lights adjusted to his heartbeat, the ship reacting as if recognizing him, its lost commander. "Synchronization 68% complete," Aura said. "Neural link unstable. Proceed with caution." Eli rubbed his temples. Each surge of light brought flashes of another life, a commander's memories bleeding into his mind. He could hear shouts, the crash of ships, and the haunting sound of soldiers calling his name before silence swallowed them. He staggered, gripping the console. "Make it stop, Aura. I can't take this." "You must," she replied gently. "The memories are not punishment. They are who you were." He looked up at the glowing galaxy projection hovering in the center of the bridge. Red zones spread across it like wounds, planets lost, systems burned. Only one faint blue light pulsed far away. "The survivors," he whispered. "Yes," Aura said. "But we cannot reach them without full synchronization. The ship requires a commander, body and mind." Eli stared at the helmet sitting on the console. He already knew what she meant. To merge completely meant giving up the last part of himself, his humanity. He'd become something in between man and machine. He turned away, shaking his head. "There has to be another way. I can't just stop being me." "If you refuse," Aura said softly, "the ship will sleep again. The hunters will destroy what's left of humanity's memory. There will be no one left to remember who we were." Eli clenched his fists. "You're asking me to die for a past I don't even remember." "No," Aura replied. "I am asking you to live for a future that still can exist." Outside, thunder rolled. Through the cracks in the earth above, the sky flickered red. The hunters were coming, dozens this time. Their ships descended silently, red lights glowing through the clouds like the eyes of demons. Aura's voice hardened. "They're locking onto the Valorian's core. We must move." Eli looked up. "Can this thing even fly after all these years?" "If you command it, it will," she said. He hesitated for one long moment, staring at his reflection in the visor. Half of him wanted to run, to leave this madness buried forever. But another part, deeper and stronger, whispered, "You've run long enough." He reached out and placed the helmet on his head. The world exploded in blue light. Pain ripped through him. But it wasn't the pain of flesh, it was something deeper, like his soul being rewritten. He screamed, falling to his knees. Aura's voice filled his mind, clear but urgent. "Neural sync at 75%. 80%. Commander, stay with me." His heartbeat pounded in his ears. His skin shimmered, veins glowing faintly blue, circuits etched across his arms like silver tattoos. His eyes burned as light poured into them, images, data, memories. He saw his old life, his ship, his crew, the day of the final war, the moment he gave the order to self-destruct the enemy's world, knowing it would take his life too. He gasped as the vision ended. "I remember," he whispered hoarsely. "Then finish what you started," Aura said. Eli rose to his feet, the helmet's light steady now. The ship responded instantly. Power surged through its veins, engines roaring awake. The ground above began to crack open, soil and metal falling as the Valorian pushed toward the surface. Outside, the hunters opened fire. Plasma bolts rained down, striking the rising ship, but its shields flared to life, glowing blue against the storm. The junkyard shook apart as the Valorian broke free from its grave, rising into the night sky like a ghost reborn. Inside, Aura's voice softened. "Synchronization complete. You are no longer just human, Commander. You are the bridge between what was and what will be." Eli's voice was calm now, steady. Then let's bring humanity home. As the ship climbed higher, the red glow of the hunter fleet filled the horizon, an army waiting to erase him once and for all. They will not stop, Aura warned. Eli smiled faintly beneath the visor. Neither will I. He sat in the command chair, gripping the controls that felt both new and ancient in his hands. The Valorians' weapons charged, humming like thunder. Target locked, Aura said. Fire, Eli ordered. The night exploded in light. Beams of blue energy cut through the sky, shattering the hunter ships one by one. Each shot echoed across the clouds like the roar of a world remembering it wasn't dead yet. And as the Valorian broke through the atmosphere, its engines blazing like a rising star, Aura whispered, "The last commander of Earth has returned." The stars stretched endlessly before him, cold and silent, yet somehow familiar. The Valorian drifted through the upper atmosphere, its hull glowing like a blade of blue fire cutting across the night. Below, the ruins of the junkyard burned, the last traces of Eli's old life turning to smoke. Above, space waited, vast, dark, and filled with enemies. Eli sat in the command chair, breathing slowly inside the helmet. The merging was complete now. His body felt both human and not, stronger, faster, but quieter inside. He could feel the ship's pulse like it was part of him. Every light flicker, every hum, every whisper of energy ran through his veins. Systems restored, Aura reported gently. Commander, your vitals are stable. You are changed. He looked at his hands, half flesh, half glowing circuitry. He flexed them slowly. So this is what 4 centuries of waiting makes, he said softly. No, she replied. This is what hope makes. Outside the viewport, the hunter fleet was gathering. Dozens of dark shapes drifted against the stars, sleek, red-lit ships like predators circling prey. They had waited generations for this moment, for the ghost of humanity's greatest warrior to return. Commander, Aura said, they've sent a message. Play it. A deep, crackling voice filled the bridge, metallic yet strangely human. To the one called Voss, you should have stayed dead. The stars forgot you. We didn't. Eli smiled faintly beneath the helmet. Then you already know what happens next. The hunter fleet opened fire. Streams of plasma and red light tore through space, lighting the void in violent color. The Valorian spun upward, shields flaring. Inside, Eli's mind synced with the ship's movement as if they were one creature fighting to breathe again. Evasive pattern Delta, Aura commanded. Already doing it, Eli said, his hands moving faster than thought. The ship rolled through fire, diving between explosions. Aura controlled the systems. Eli controlled the heart. For the first time, they weren't separate. They were whole. Weapon systems online, Aura said. Then let's make them remember. The Valorian's cannons flared, unleashing a storm of blue energy. Every blast hit with perfect precision, tearing through the enemy ships like lightning through paper. The shockwave rippled across the void, scattering debris that glimmered like shattered stars. But for every ship destroyed, more appeared, dark silhouettes rising from the shadows of the moon. They just keep coming, Aura warned. Eli's voice was steady. Then we keep fighting. He felt the ship's power core surge beneath him. It wasn't just energy, it was memory. Every soul who had once served aboard this vessel. Every soldier who had fallen in his name. Their echoes whispered through the circuits. Don't stop. Not again. Then something strange happened. The stars flickered and one of the blue dots on the holographic map pulsed brighter. The survivor's signal. The cryostasis beacon Eli's breath caught. They're awake. It appears your return has reactivated their systems, Aura said. They can sense you, Commander. He looked at the map. Then that's where we're going. It's a long route, Aura cautioned. Through the obsidian belt, dangerous, we may not make it. Eli smiled. We've already died once. What's one more try? The Valorian roared forward, engines blazing blue. The hunter fleet moved to intercept, firing relentlessly. But Eli didn't dodge this time. He accelerated straight into the heart of the enemy. Commander, shields won't hold. Aura cried. They don't have to, he said. Just open the path. At the last second, he diverted the ship's energy, channeling the entire core into a massive wave of light. The Valorian exploded outward with a blinding shockwave, tearing through the enemy line. Hunter ships shattered, falling like burning stars. The light faded and silence filled the void. The stars returned, clear, endless, peaceful. Eli leaned back in the chair, breathing hard. The hull was cracked, systems failing, but the way forward was open. The survivor's beacon pulsed stronger now, calling him home. Ura's voice softened. You saved them once, Commander. And now you might save them again. He looked through the viewport at the rising sun cresting over Earth's edge. No, he said quietly. We will. You finally believe that? She asked, her tone almost human. He smiled faintly. I remember who I was, but I also remember who I am. Eli, the mechanic who fixed what everyone else threw away. The ship's lights dimmed gently, as if smiling with him. Then let's rebuild humanity. One piece at a time. The Valorian turned toward the stars. The engines flared once more, carving a path of blue light across the endless black. And as it disappeared into the deep silence of space, a single voice echoed through the stars, Aura's, soft and eternal. Welcome home, Commander.